Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to what is, without doubt, the biggest game of the Premier League season so far. Certainly, it's a Premier League decider. Tottenham against Manchester City. The league table suggests that if Man City were to win, then they would probably win the league. If they were to draw, then goal difference probably suggests that Arsenal would win the league, or that it could get interesting if Man City went and beat West Ham by 7 or 8. So a draw for Man City might not actually hand the title to Arsenal because Arsenal's goal difference is only 3 higher. So if Man City were to draw tonight and then Man City were to then beat West Ham 9-0 and Arsenal only beat Everton 1-0, then their goal difference would be better. So it's not necessarily over, but what is for certain is that if Spurs win tonight, then they've still got a very, very big chance of Champions League football. So it's all going on. There ain't no doubt about it. It's all going on. Team news is going around the screen there. I mean, look, Man City are the best team in the league. They are a juggernaut. They are the best team in the league. It's boring and all that jazz. But there is a chance. There is a chance. And I think most of football, if not all of football, is there anybody? Even Spurs fans must want to win, really. So I think all of football wants Man City to lose, apart from Man City fans. I mean, maybe I've misread the room on that. I don't know. But that's certainly how I would look at it. Man City are going to be the big old favourites in this, no doubt about it, as I said. But it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see how Spurs approach this because they've been a bit shit for a long time. And Man City have been playing really well recently. So I think it's going to be a challenge extraordinaire for Spurs to get anything out of it. But look, let's hope they can. I don't want to see any stupid VAR. I don't want to see any red cards or cheating. You know, I don't want to see any of that. I want to see a good game of football. And if Man City win, as I predict they will, I want that to be done in a fair way, if anything. Cog says we all want City to win. Well, I'm going to read some of your chat in a moment. Let me just get this up and running here. I was running a little bit late because I was over on the United stand. So there we go with that. Lovely stuff. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go here. And I hope you're all doing well. We're good to go. There we go. There we go. Team news. Well, there's the Spurs one on your screen. Hold on a minute. I'm getting a bit of... Team news. Where's that coming from? Can you hear it now? I think we were getting a bit of feedback, weren't we? I must have had mute on something else. It's gone now. It's gone now. Evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Come on, Spurs, says Jim. Imagine Spurs win and Arsenal lose their last game. Could still happen, Tokyo Racing. Whole of London wants City to smash them, says Robert McCormack. Do they? Whole of London. Come on, you Spurs. Arsenal fan here, cheering along with my fellow North Londoners, says Lost. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for London. I can't speak. We're not in London, are we? I'm not in London. I can't speak for London. I've got no intention of speaking for London, but I would say the vast majority outside of London who love football will want a Man City loss tonight. Up the Villa, says Cheesy. Yeah, well, Villa fans probably want Man City to win. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how that one works. But let me just go through the team news for you. Manchester City lining up with Ederson, Walker, Vardiel, Akanji, Diaz, Rodri, Silva, Kovacic, Haaland, De Bruyne and Foden. Spurs lining up with Vicario, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Dragusin. They've then got Sarr, Bentancur and Højbjerg, and then Son, Johnson and Maddison. Kulusevski on the bench. And yeah, I mean, their bench is not very good. for Spurs. They don't have a lot of options. Obviously, no Richarlison, no Bissouma. So, look, I think Man City are going to have too much for Spurs, logically, anyway. But that Man City side is so good. Yeah. Dan says, why are you watching City when you cause them worse than shit? Because I love football, mate. And that's why it's called That's Football. And I know a lot of people like it when we do a watch-along together. So, yeah, I've been doing this for years, mate. So, yeah, that's how it works. Why is it red? Why does it mock me with red? It's not red. That's tomorrow night. It should be blue. Or purple. There we go. Didn't do Liverpool versus Villa last night. Liverpool Villa last night. I would have done that, but I was out in Birmingham at a show for Jack, mate. So yeah, I'd pre-booked myself in. But yeah, the ramifications of this are rather simple in the sense that if I put the league table over for you, you will see, if you're on YouTube, that that's how the league table looks. So as it stands, it's a draw. Arsenal would still be top. As it stands, Tottenham would be 4 points behind Villa with 1 game to go if it was a draw. So Tottenham have to win, and or their Champions League hopes are over. And I mean, look, I haven't got the audio on. I haven't got the audio on, and you'd have to tell me what the audience is like, because I don't get, as an Arsenal fan or a Spurs fan, I disagree with the rivalry being so important to you that you'd rather Arsenal not win the league and not be in the Champions League. Like, it's not like you're... to me, this would be very easy for me. Being in the Champions League helps my football club progress. That's all I'd care about. I can't control if Arsenal win the league or not. It's not... You're not handing Arsenal the league by beating Man City. Arsenal might not beat Everton. Like, it's a weird arrogance that you think you can control the league. What if West Ham beat Man City on the final day? You haven't controlled the league. So what if West Ham get a draw against Man City on the final day? You've got to look after yourself. There's almost a myth about this game that Spurs can control the title. What if Sean Dyche goes and beats Arsenal at Everton? There, you just don't know. Just don't know. My prediction is, thanks for the follow, Salad Cream, what a name. And let's go City, need them to beat Spurs up the Villa, says the HPN. I'm a United fan and I want City to win because who cares, says Jack. Well, each their own. What do you think on United being linked with McKenna? Absolute stupidity, Mario. I mean, I've not even heard this story. Man City have failed to win away to Spurs in the league for the last 5 years, scoring no goals at the Spurs stadium. Yeah, but that's not based on anything, Flores. I mean, there are themes, aren't there? But Man City not winning at Spurs is not because Spurs at home is an absolute powerhouse. It's not like Anfield, is it? I think that's just an anomaly, whatever you want to call it. Nicholas Walker says, as a Spurs fan, I have this terrible feeling we'll win just to go and lose against Sheffield United on Sunday. And Tucker says, hi Mark, does Unai Emery get your vote for manager of the season if he doesn't get Champions League? BS says, City Spurs fan here, City have my blessing. Come on the Spurs, says Jim. Look, I think if Aston Villa get Champions League football, or Ange gets Champions League football, you'd have to consider them as manager of the year, because I think that would be incredible. Likewise, if Arsenal win the league, it's got to be Arteta. If Pep wins the league, I'd give it to Emery or Ange, because one of them will get top 4. If Arteta wins the league, I'd give it to Arteta. That's my working out with the manager of the year stuff. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Absolute legends. Thank you very much. Where We're closing in on 153,000, so thank you very much for that. And if you're on TikTok, give us a follow. Thank you very much. Come on, City, says Zara, who's a Spurs fan. There are a lot of Spurs fans who feel like that. Attila, thanks for the follow. Bolton, Kevin Good as well on TikTok. You're a legend. But a steady start here. One thing I would say about Man City. Oh, here we go. No. Kyle Walker trying to play a 1-2. One thing I would say from Spurs is that if I was a Spurs player, I'd be absolutely motivated with winning. I think Will made a great point on our podcast, Goldbridge Says Football, when he said that players are nowhere near in tune with fans as much as they were 20, 30 years ago. And these players for Spurs will love to be popular with the fans, but they're not. They're going to, people like Son and that are going to want to play in the Champions League. They're not going to be satisfied with stopping Arsenal. Great save from Edison, from Bentancur. Wins a corner. Edge of the box shot. But yeah, if you're a Spurs player and you sat there in the summer going, well, at least we stopped Arsenal winning the league, but I'm not in the Champions League. I just don't think they get massive bonuses for being in the Champions League as well. So I think it would be interesting to see how the players react, regardless of what the fans think. And I think if Spurs do win, like HPN says, I think if Spurs do win, they will get Champions League football. Do you rate Højbjerg? Says Mrs. Stone. He's one of those players for me, Højbjerg, that I'm on and off with him, to be honest. I think he can be good other times. Rest of the UK wants Spurs to win, says John. Let's go City. Need them to beat Spurs. Thanks for the follow. No name 09. Oh yeah, I've got another pub I need to shout out as well tonight. I love the old Contemptibles in Birmingham, but I was in the Victoria yesterday, which is a lovely pub down the back of the Bull Ring, the rear entrance of the Bull Ring. The Victoria, lovely little pub. Give it a shout out if you're ever in Birmingham. Go and give it a visit. Thanks for the follow, Jack T. Mark, Tossin would be a great fourth choice centre back, says Jack. Yep. So interesting start here. Pep's picking his nose, rubbing his lips. Remember, Arsenal would take a draw here. Spurs need to win for themselves. But they would take a draw. Man City, a win to keep it in their hands, of course. But Man City's win ratio in their final 5 games is amazing. Kyle Walker. De Bruyne. Deflects. Oh, my God. There was an offside anyway. But that could have been a goal, apart from the fact that Kyle Walker was offside. And he was miles offside. I mean, he's quick enough not to be offside, but he was offside. Thanks for the follow, Ian Edwards. You're a legend. Thank you very much. Kevin Carter says that was close. It was offside as well. Walker's the best right back ever, says Ryan. No, not for me. Who's been on top so far, says Ian. 50-50. 50-50. It's not been a... I'd say City have started off quite slow. It won't be nervousness. Ethan and Mo, thanks for the follow. Like the jumper, says 4K. Thank you very much, pal. Yeah, I think it's been a tentative start by City, which might not be a bad thing. I'm a Liverpool fan. I would love to see Arsenal lift it, says Harry. Here's Erling Haaland. Good work in the corner into Bernardo Silva. I mean, to be honest with you, what a front four that is. Good play by Sarr. But Haaland, Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Lovely play by Foden. Gets it out wide to Bernardo Silva. Little intricate play here, but loses it. And that's a foul by Bernardo Silva on Maddison. The Colmore is a good pub, Mark, in Birmingham. I've heard of that one, Wolves TV. Where is the Colmore? I'm going to Google that now. I bet I've been there. Oh, no. Where the fuck's that? It does look nice. I'm going to look where it is. There it is. Cathedral. Oh, I know where it is, yeah. I've never been in there, but I do like it. Nice for the neutral to have a final day decider, says Barry. Mr. B says Marcus Rashford and his leaks need to go. Harry History Dude says, how well do you think Tottenham would do in Europe? Well, I think Tottenham have still, correct me if I'm wrong, Ken Sheriff and Den the Men, thanks for following on TikTok and literally England. Correct me if I'm wrong if we've got any Spurs fans, but you have still got a lot of the Harry Kane money. And you'd have Champions League money as well. So I think Spurs' squad is reasonable at the moment, but if you can add 4 or 5 more players to it. I want Spurs to win always, says Jeff, but Palace is not beating Villa next week, and a draw between them will not help us realistically. It will if you batter Sheffield United, mate. Spurs fan, I truly think Europa League would be best for us long term. Combined with the league circumstances, make it a no-brainer so far today. City, says BS. Just watched iShow Speed live streaming and he said that Mbappe is going to Arsenal. Come on. The day Speed becomes David Ornstein is the day I think I'll pack it in. There's just no way that that's going to happen. He needs to learn how to finish penalties before he becomes Romano. Mbappe's going to Real Madrid, mate. Chelsea are above United. You were slagging them off. No, I wasn't, Max. No, I wasn't. Anyway, we're not talking about Chelsea or Man United. We're watching their best game of the season so far. Spurs against Man City. Thanks for the follow, L. Johnson. And anyway, if anybody was slagging off Chelsea, it's not the same. Like, Chelsea have spent £1 billion in the last year. And they're nowhere near the top 4. So even Chelsea fans would admit that the banter is still real. As a Chelsea fan, a Man City win would be great. Arsenal losing the title and Tottenham missing out on top 4 would be the best of both worlds, says Nicole. You see, this is the London thing. We're in London, aren't we? Nobody plays for the badge in the modern game, says Constantine. Well, I think this is a great point. Like, it wasn't my point. If you listen to the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast or you watch the video of it on here, Will made a great point. And he said that, you know, as fans, we're in tune with our football club and things obviously matter. But the modern player is in a bubble. They're not in tune with the fans. They'll play lip service to the fans, but they're not in tune with the fans. I tell you what, Kyle Walker's getting so much space going forward. Son's just not tracking him back at all. Cold Dish with some breaking news. Did you know that Arsenal are good at corners? I did. I've said it for a while. They are very good at corners. But Spurs' system is getting absolutely rinsed by Kyle Walker at the moment, tactically. Game of the season. What's your game of the season, Awoken, and everybody else? I think my game of the season is... Oh, I thought they'd scored there from a corner, Man City. I think my game of the season, probably Man City-Chelsea. Was it in November at the Bridge? That was a cracking game, considering how bad Chelsea have been this season as well. I think that was probably game of the season. Actually, that came off Van der Ven, so that'll be another corner. This high line, says Marvin M. of Spurs. Yeah, of course, it's the high line. I've not watched a lot of City this year. Sorry, I've not watched a lot of Spurs this year, but of course. Boo to be, thanks for the follow. You have got the old high line. Definitely game of the season, though, so far, with what's at stake. Man City just starting to come into this a little bit more. What a save. Højbjerg's playing for City. That's the first hint we've had of Spurs trying to throw the game, which I genuinely don't think they are. But Højbjerg there nearly criminally giving them a chance. Maybe he's just a little bit shit. No, he just completely miskicks it. Well, it's a brilliant save from Vicario, though, because Phil Foden is like 6 yards out on the volley. Makes quite a good connection, but goes... Vicario makes himself massively big. That's what she said. Massive save that by Vicario. In the context of the game, it's still very early. Leo, thanks for your follow. Spurs not really settling now. They're looking a little bit nervous. And Man City, who we saw Man City being a bit reserved in the first 10 minutes. But for the last 5 minutes or so, they've started to exert their authority on this game. Here we go. Oh, I tell you what, that wasn't a bad opportunity. I think it was Brennan Johnson on the back post. He still had a lot to do, but didn't get his cross right. First real opportunity Spurs have had in the box. It's a good ball. I think he should have... he's probably done about as much as he can there. Do it for Sean Gota, says John Marston. I'm impressed you know who he is as a City fan. If you are a City fan, you might just be... being ironic, but it's a corner for Spurs. First real chance. And it comes. It's a good one. Oh, I'm not going to get excited about Spurs. I can, actually. I bloody can. Why can't I? I don't think Spurs will do it, but if they did, I'd enjoy it. City clear it. Ooh, what are your thoughts then? What are your thoughts so far? Turn that off. What's going on there? Nice ball in here, and it's Højbjerg who blindly just crosses the ball to absolutely no one. What does the Premier League need to do to be more competitive, says Sullivan Strong? I think at the bottom and at the top, the gap's too big. Man City are better than everybody else, and the teams coming up are too far behind everybody else. So that's the problem the Premier League has at the moment. Waiting to lose just seems a bit short-sighted from Spurs fans. Here's Haaland up against Van der Ven. Great tackle by Dragusin. Very, very good tackle. A decent summer for Arsenal, and they're right in the running again next season anyway, says Connor. I think it's a myth that Spurs are controlling the title anyway. I think if Man City win this, they'll win the league, of course. But if Spurs win this, Would you bet your whole life savings on the fact that Arsenal would beat Everton? They might not. What does the Premier League need? Done that one. Fair play to Aaron Hunt. Let me read this properly, H5, because I destroyed it the other day. H5 with a super chat on YouTube says, fair play to Aaron Hunt. Man went from chilling with Simple Simon and Luke Bennett to kicking ball with Wayne Rooney. Genuinely sound geezer as well. Thank you very much for that. Aguero nightmare incoming again, says Mrs. Stone. How could it not be Liverpool, Man United, Mark? FA Cup, says Oddie. Because that's the FA Cup. This is the Premier League. City FFP decision expected soon. Predictions, says Tom. I don't think they'll get found guilty. I never have. Abraham says, Mark, what stat is more upsetting as a United fan? The fact that second choice's Man City striker has more Premier League goals than any United player, or the fact that Nicholas Jackson is outscoring every United player, says Abraham. Neither of them bother me, mate. I focus on my own house. I'm not really interested in what Chelsea or Man City are doing. Did you know Arsenal are good on corners, says Cold Dish. We've done that one. Career modes every Friday, mate. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Obviously, I'm not the only one who thinks it's a massive game because we've got 24,000 people tuning in on YouTube and we've got a few thousand on TikTok as well. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Give us a follow if you're on TikTok, like Jandino and Axel. And make sure you subscribe bottom right-hand corner on YouTube. And don't forget, we've got every single game of the Euros next month as a watch-along. Can't wait for that. I remember when the World Cup was on, I actually ordered a load of shirts. I had a Belgian one, a Japan one. I'm actually thinking I might go and do that again. Nice ball in. Oh, what? Surprise, surprise. Kyle Walker for the millionth time is unmarked on the right wing. What are Spurs doing there? We've all seen it. And I don't see what the benefit is. Kyle Walker's getting the freedom of Spurs. I know he used to play for them, but come on. Exactly. Christoph says, why is Kyle Walker getting so much space down the right-hand side, Mark? Kenny, thanks for the follow. And Brian Steve as well. I need some water. Philip Sutton's just gifted 5 memberships on YouTube. Euro winners prediction. Hi. England. Beans on toast versus supporting United, says Marcus. Fair play to Goldbridge. Went from streaming in his mum's bedroom to having 1 million subscribers on his channel. Genuinely a sound geezer as well, says Dalibor. Oh, thanks, pal. And it's Louis says, I'm glad Spurs have Ange as he's got a winning mentality no matter what. Do you think there's a manager that would throw a game due to their rival? Well, we've not even spoken about Ange, but if you think I'm going to throw this bloody game, mate, you got a bloody another thing coming. Rubbish Australian accent, but you get the gist. It was better on the podcast. But look, if I was manager of Spurs, and I know all the Spurs fans want us to lose so Arsenal don't win the league, I'll smile and go, yeah, I got this, mate. But in the dressing room, I'm saying, fuck that. I want to play in the bloody Champions League. It's about what I do. Oh, it was beans on toast versus supporting United. I don't eat beans on toast anymore, Marcus, because I've cut down on bread. Are you going to wear a suit for the FA Cup final, says Nadine? No. I got ridiculed enough in the last FA Cup when I said City were going long ball already and they scored from it. Who's the ref in this game? There is Ange. Bloody hell, mate. I've never liked Manchester United, but honestly, they're field players that I've admired the most in the Premier League. Scholes and Rooney, says Andrew Gardner. I couldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else. Did you enjoy the Jackmate tour? I did. It was very close to the bone. Lovely ball in behind for Bentancur. He's got to play a ridiculous ball there and it doesn't work. Vardiel defends well. Second ball, Porro. Yeah, Vardiel. You know what? Vardiel has grown into such a bloody good player, hasn't he? I mean, we knew he was a good player at Leipzig, but he's now really settled in at Man City. L. Johnson on TikTok says, come on, Villa. Chris Kavanagh's the ref. Oh, he's bloody useless. I mean, is there a good referee, actually? There's a question. Is there a referee in the Premier League that's half decent? It's like finding a bloody needle in a haystack. Biggest under and overachievers this season. Biggest under and overachievers in the Premier League this season, says William. Oh, nearly a great ball into from Romero to Son. Vardiel, look. I must admit, the Spurs high line must be a bloody hard watch for Spurs fans week in, week out. But as a relative neutral, I do quite enjoy how compact it makes the game. Any familiarity with Al Liga MX teams like Chivas, says Jassel? No. Thoughts on Varane leaving? Who do we get instead, says Jamie? Apparently we're looking at Tosin from Fulham. Here's Sarr. I don't know what that pass was. Fucking rubbish. Biggest under and overachievers in the Premier League this season, says William. I'd like to read some of these out, by the way. MJPK, TikTok, thanks for the follow. And Vans as well. Jim's laughing because I've said relative neutral. Yeah, I'm not a neutral, but what I mean is I don't support Spurs, so they are quite an interesting team to watch when they play with this high line. Go on, with the cross. Diaz puts it out for a corner. Overachieving player this season. I think Cole Palmer's overachieved for a first season. I think he's a good player, but I don't think at one point he was competing for the Golden Boot. So I think Cole Palmer's overachieved. I do think Vicario's done very well at Spurs. I know he's been a bit dodgy on corners, but yeah, I do think he's done well as well. Underachievers, Mason Mount. You know, I know it's been very, very unlucky, but it's been a write-off. Thoughts on Varane? I've done that one. Hey Mark, I'm doing a rebuild on FIFA. Who should I get for left back? Says Shubba. Did you enjoy the Northern Lights, Mark? Says Tom. I didn't even look. I was watching Interstellar. As an Irish United fan, Cormac says, I could have the worst 3 months of my football life. City winning it 4 times in a row, which United never did. City could beat us in the FA Cup and do the double by beating us and England winning the Euros, says Cormac. One of those things is definitely going to happen. All 3 could happen. You're right. Who's your shout out for Young Player of the Year and Player of the Year, Mark, says Dom? Well, I think Palmer counts as Young Player of the Year, doesn't he? And Declan Rice would be my Player of the Year. Left back on FIFA for a rebuild. I don't know this year. I've not really bought any left backs. I did have one a couple of years ago that was quite good. Oh, that's a bad pass. Casido playing so good. You were slagging him like crazy. Max, I'm not talking about Chelsea, so you're wasting your time. It's a big game. There's lots to talk about, and I'm not talking about Chelsea. Stop living up the arse of Chelsea. I know you support them, but stop rimming them, right? We don't want to talk about Chelsea. And Casido cost you £100 million, mate. I'd suspect that he probably would start playing well at some point. Nice ball out wide to Bernardo Silva. Horn says it feels odd willingly supporting Spurs. Well, it's been quite a tight game so far. Martial is a massive overachiever on them wages, says Oddie. Where's Janet, says Rub. I don't think we'll see Janet again. She got sat down so hard, I think she broke her back. Here's Bernardo Silva again. Nice little roll into there. De Bruyne, but it's Bentancur who wins it in his own corner, and he wins a throw-in as well. Do you think benches will be important, Mark? Well, Stones, Aki, Grealish, Doku, Alvarez, Nunez, Bob, Lewis for Man City is a lot stronger than Skip, Gill, Royal, Lo Celso, Kulusevski, Austin, Scarlett, Moore and Hall. So if subs are going to be important, it's Man City who've got the advantage there. Who do you think Spurs is selling and buying? Says William. I've got no idea, mate. I've not heard anything about that. Oh, City have just won it back on the edge of the box. Kovacic. Do I like the movie Hot Fuzz? Says Zach. Does a bear shit in the woods? Yes, I do. Describe a City and Spurs fan with one word. You can all do that. I'm just watching this at the moment. Rodri into Foden. There's an inevitability that City are going to score, by the way. Been checking my LinkedIn for a week, says Parker. I've looked at all my messages, mate. PSG's Champions League problem might be they're used to League One, says Dom. Good pressing by Spurs, and they win a throw-in high up the pitch. VN, or is it WN, says, imagine if Jack Grealish scores the goal that will get Villa Champions League football from the bench. I tell you what, that's a story. That is a story. I'm trying to think of a better story. Grealish coming on and scoring the winner for City, which would confirm Champions League football for Villa. Now that is a story, isn't it? What about... I can't see anyone on Spurs giving us a different story, actually. I think that is the best story. Mark, are you excited for Fury versus Usyk? I am. We're doing a watch-along on here as well. I have done boxing watch-alongs in the past. And I do, whilst I don't watch it loads, I do like a big fight. Who do I want to win? I do like Usyk, but I do like Fury as well. I just, Fury comes with his detractors, I think, but I would want Fury to win that. But I do like Usyk as well. I hope it's just all a bit pantomime the way they get at it, the way Fury gets at him, because I do like Usyk. But I'm looking forward to it. Very much so. Nice play into Højlund, out wide. Not Højlund, Højbjerg. Brennan Johnson whips a cross in, another corner. What made you become a United fan, says Emil. My granddad, rest in peace. Did you see Fury's dad headbutt that guy and he split his own head open even though the guy was half his size and the guy just stood there with no damage? Bloody hell, if you got headbutted by John Fury. Corner here to Spurs. Jack F on TikTok, thanks for the follow. Cross comes in. People are over on the floor on the box. Son. Wide. It'll stay in though. And he's given a goal kick. Given a goal kick. Porro's not very happy, but goal kick's been given. Maddison's not very happy. Get on with it. Play to the whistle. Yeah, it definitely was a corner. Didn't get given. As being a non-local Spurs supporter since 1980, I'd rather take Champions League despite the Gunners banter, says PJ. I need advice. Imagine someone treats you unfairly, you hate them, but their behaviour leads you to be better and great things happen. Would you still hate that person? I'm conflicted whether to hate someone. Shahin, that's a deep, deep question for a football watch-along. But realistically, if that lesson in life has made you a better person, then maybe you should be grateful to that person and leave them with their negativities. Mark, genuine question. Do you hate City or Liverpool, says Jack? I don't hate anybody, but this could be a great tackle by Romero. And they've played on. I thought there was something going on there. I don't hate anyone, but Liverpool are Man United's biggest rival, so I'd rather City win the league than Liverpool. But Liverpool are our biggest rival because they've got integrity. Mark, there's a debate online about whether you'd want your daughter stuck in the woods with a man or a bear. Apparently more women are picking bear. Thoughts and who you'd pick for your daughter? Robble, I don't like that sort of... I mean, I sort of do like it, but I don't like it. Like, society today, and it's like that dress, isn't it? Yellow card given to Bentancur for a foul on Foden. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Smells, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for all the content, says Lucas. And also, were the refs in the Prem always this bad, or is it only since VAR, says Lucas? I think VAR has made refereeing worse, because I think if we didn't have VAR, we'd just put up more with human error. But because of VAR, we don't accept human error, because it's meant to slow stuff down. What if your daughter was stuck in the woods with a man who's her husband? Because a bear ain't gonna fucking give you some porridge. Let me tell you that. Whether it's your daughter, your gran, your brother, or a friend, a bear is gonna fuck them up. So... 36 minutes gone, still 0-0. How was that not a sending off? You know what? In fairness to City, this is probably going to stun every Man City fan now. That tackle by Bentancur on Foden, when I saw it, I got angry. Because I'm like, Foden's really important for England in the Euros. And I was like, that was wild. Wild. It wasn't close. It was off the ground. It was reckless. But I don't know what a red card is anymore. Alex says if Spurs lose to Sheffield United, Chelsea have got a very good chance of the Champions League. Alex, how much have you had to drink, mate? You've got absolutely no chance of Champions League football. Shogun on Hula, you're welcome, says Danny. I stopped watching it, mate. I was watching it on, was it Disney? Daniel Sturridge says you get to live one day in your life again. Which one would it be? If it was football, I'll tell you what, I'll answer the football question, and it would be the day we won the treble. And that wasn't really the day, it was the night. Lovely cross, this should be a goal. Oh, greedy Vardy L on the back post. Dink to the back post. He's gone for the shot, and he should square this to Haaland. On the ground, and Haaland's got a tap in. I don't know whether... Do you think he was shooting there, or it was just crap? Dewey says, what do you think of Liverpool as a city? I've never been in it. I've been to Liverpool, but I've never been into the city. I went to the Red Men TV studio a few times to do some content, but that's not in Liverpool city centre. What if we were stuck in the woods? What if you were stuck in the woods with Grizzly Adams, says Who Loves Orange Soda. Kendi, thanks for the follow on TikTok. And Tara. Even as a Chelsea fan, Alex needs help, says Dom. Yeah. Somebody help him. How do you keep up the content and not get tired, says Oddie. I pick what I want to watch. So I would be watching this game anyway, so... Yeah. Hi Mark, from the pod, Pep at Arsenal or Arteta at City, who would do better? Let's do a poll. Good idea, Vincent. It is on the actual Spotify poll, but I'll do it here for you now. Who would do better? Pep at Arsenal. Arteta. I think it's a great question, and I think it's got layers. Because Arteta's done a great job at Arsenal. So if he had the City players, why would he not do a great job? And Pep at Arsenal, I think, is such a methodical coach with those sort of players. He probably could do quite well as well. It's not 1-0, by the way. It's still 0-0, and it's over on the other side of the pitch with Man City. Thanks for the follow, Daniel McSee. I think Spurs have done okay. They just look like they lack a cutting edge. I mean, Richarlison gets injured a lot, doesn't he? And I think that's something that Spurs do need to look at next season, is a striker. Everybody needs a bloody striker, though, don't they? Everybody needs a striker. Man United want a striker. Arsenal want a striker. Spurs will need a striker. Maybe even Liverpool will be looking for a striker, although I think they'll be all right. Jane says, I'm gay and proud. Well, you don't need to, well, you can say what you like, but it's not, it's fine. Sin, thanks for the follow. Newcastle don't need one, no, Jamie. They've got Isaac and Villa as well. They don't need one. I had a lovely dinner tonight. Chicken pasta, made by me. Started off with chicken breasts, chopped them into bits, mushrooms, onions, let them sweat or whatever. Then I put in half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, teaspoon of oregano, basil, then passata, then spinach leaves, and then stirred in some brown pasta. It was lovely. And then put cheese on the top. It was really nice. Had a bit of a salad. People do care though, Leo. They really do. Leo says no one cares, but naturally, with 28,000 people watching, somebody will care. Somebody will go, I do care about that, Mark. Thanks for sharing it with me. That should have gone first time by Son. Oh, what a ball. Wait, Bentancur. Oh, fucking hell. They had a 4v3 and they get the pass wrong. And now watch what happens. City will not get the pass wrong. Wide to Bernardo Silva. Now let's see if City in the same position mess this up. They did. That was a very good chance for them. Latoro would be the perfect Arsenal striker, says Dom. And Ellie Eel says, do you watch the NBA? If you do, who's your favourite player? No. Victor says, pretty simple. What club has got more resources? Parker says, professional from day one. Did you know United stand would be huge? No, absolutely not. The only motivation I had with the United stand was to catch another United channel who I thought were very arrogant and rude. So that was sort of a motivation. And it's not the channel you think. They came later. But, I could never have looked at them at the start and gone, let's beat them. They had, when we started, I think they had 400,000 subscribers. So it wasn't that one. They came later. Here we go. Tell you what, if Spurs can get to half time, City will start to panic. Well, Rodri's just played a shit ball. Thanks for the follow, Jake Lord. I thought you had... Hello Green, mate, says the W. Hello Green? I think you mean Hello Fresh. Please do subscribe, by the way. 29 subscribers away from 153,000. Foden. Oh, here we go. Haaland with the block. And oh my God! Dragerson. I tell you what, Spurs have made 2 or 3 big blocks in this game. I don't know whether the crowd want to actually applaud him, though. But this should have been 1-0. Oh, it wouldn't have been any... Whoa, it probably would have been, because Haaland with the shot blocked, and then Bernardo Silva, and Dragerson heads it wide. It's Dragerson. All right, he doesn't play for my club, Nicola. Calm the fuck down. Half time. Did he not add any time on? That's weird. Did he literally only add 7 seconds on? That is amazing. I think that's got to be the first time this season that's ever happened. Chris Kavanagh was born 5 minutes from the Etihad, says Stephen B. Wow. Well, is that controversial? Some might say it is. Let's have a look at our time. I mean, look, I don't remember any chances for Spurs, but Arsenal fans, it's the hope that kills you. You are 45 minutes in. You are halfway there. You would take a draw, I'm sure, but still a long way to go. Right, let me just get these stats up on the screen as well. Where are they? Where are you? Take and please pause. Pause. Okay. 55% possession for Spurs. 3 shots each, 1 on target. I mean, it doesn't feel as equal as those stats suggest, actually, does it? But pass accuracy, passes, corners, Spurs have actually had more of it, but it doesn't feel like that. I think the best chances have fallen to Man City so far, especially that Bernardo Silva one at the end and the save from Foden from Vicario. I think the 2 best chances have fallen to Manchester City, if we're being completely honest. Do a Lamine Yamal or Garnacho poll, says Mitchell, the football addict. Well, it'll be Yamal. Ever thought of going on Celebrity MasterChef, says Tom Bleak? Mate, if they want me on it, I'll do it. I'll bring my HelloFresh box. I'll say I've got all my ingredients and my instructions. Let's go. Chris Jericho says, choose wisely, Mark. There are 2 chairs. One has a big erected willy on top and the other one a cake. You must sit in one and eat what's on the other. Chris, well done. I like this sort. I mean, look, I didn't like the daughter in the bear or the man in the woods. That's sinister. But I do like Chris's one. I do like that because we're all sat there now, even though I'm not going to say, we're all thinking there are 2 chairs. One's got a big willy on it and the other one's got a cake. You must sit on one and eat what's on the other. And we're all thinking it through, even though none of us are going to verbally put it out there. Some people might be really happy with the choice here, though, Chris. Some people might really like the idea of sitting on the willy and eating the cake. That might be like Christmas to some people who like that sort of thing. If you like cake and you like crock, then you must be very, very happy. For me, I don't eat cake anymore, and I've never ate the other one, so I'm struggling on this one. Somebody just said, what's the willy made of? I think it's a real one, mate. You can't eat that in the sense that you think you can. Thanks for the follow, Emmanuel. Lovely stuff. Chris there. Great one. What else do you like to cook, says Vicky. I'll tell you what I'm into at the moment. Very much into my breakfast smoothies. I'm going to do a little TikTok of it at some point, but the one I had the last couple of mornings is just so nice. Basically, milk, pecans, blueberries, a spoon of almond butter, and a spoon of chocolate cocoa powder. Blend it all up. Oh, it's just, the taste is just so nice. And it's reasonably good for you as well. Hi, Mark. Have you seen the McKenna rumours? No, Julian, I haven't seen these rumours, and I'd love to know where they're coming from, because people have mentioned this twice now, as if Man United are going to give Kieran McKenna the job. That would be just way too soon for him. Way, way too soon. I heard that Thomas... Yeah, I've just seen where it's come from. This journalist from Foot Mercato has never got anything right. Like, he's never got anything right. So, absolute bullshit. Yeah, very, very weird. Indeed. Who do you think is better, Van der Ven or Akanji? I prefer Van der Ven. But Akanji has done very well at Man City. How Diaz has more billion-dollar points than Watkins, says Mitchell. Don't know. I think I've done that one. If karma exists, City win nothing this year and Michael Oliver gets the sack, says Degeneration X. Thank you very much. Just on our poll on YouTube at the moment, who would do better, Pep at Arsenal or Arteta at City? We were talking about this on the podcast in more depth, so listen to the podcast, but I do think it's a good one. 56% are saying Pep at Arsenal. Poll it, Marky, says Chris. I ain't polling that cake and cock thing. Maybe the best advertising plug I've ever heard, says Oddie. And will you have any shows in North America this summer, says Dex. I haven't got any shows in anywhere this summer. I've got my book coming out, which is behind me. Hopefully some of you've pre-ordered it already. What do you think of vaping, Mark? I'm dead against it. I don't think it's a good thing to do, and it's so fresh and new that I don't think there's any scientific real research around it, in my opinion. Who do you think is better, Van der Ven or Akanji? As a straight man... Oh, God. I should read these before I read them. Right. Sia says, I can read it. As a straight man, the logical thing to do is wear good, solid pants and sit on the willy. I'll tell you what was funny last night, just a bit of light relief at half time, because that's what you should do. I was at the Happy Hour podcast last night, and what they do is, it's a very good idea. I'm going to nick it when we do our next live shows. They get people to do confessions in a confession box, and in the second half of the show, they read some of the confessions out. And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, right? So they read this confession, and it was like, I've brought my boyfriend to this show tonight, and what he doesn't know is that I'm 6 weeks pregnant. And they said, is the person here? They put their hand up, and he genuinely didn't know. And it was just a nice moment. I mean, it would not have been so nice if it had gone... his first words would have been, is it mine? But he was really happy about it. If I'd have been on stage, I would have said, but is it his? Like, is that why I doesn't know? But no, it was a very, very nice moment. Nice moment. Chelsea for top 4 next year, Mark, says Ronnie. Jay, if anyone listens to the Goldbridge Safe Football podcast, my 2024 prediction was that this would be the year for Chelsea. I said it on the podcast on the first show in January. This would be the year of Chelsea, the calendar year of Chelsea. And at the moment, I think they are gradually improving. So, Lewis says, what's the goal of the season? Daniel Picton, thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate that. I'm going to close that poll. Pep at Arsenal has won over Arteta at City. Second half to come. The podcast is on Spotify, Alex. It's called Goldbridge Saves Football. You can listen to it there. But we put the full video up on here the day later anyway, so it's on the podcast section of this. Dragusin is such a fine player, says Park. And De Bruyne has been trash, says Monk. It was a great point, actually. Did you see that Jamie Carragher put De Bruyne in his Premier League team of the season? Where do you stand on that? Because I was dead against it. I really, really thought it was bang out of order. And I'll tell you why. Because well, I won't tell you why, because I'm bloody stuttering like a prat. I'll tell you why I thought it was a load of bollocks. Because it defeats the purpose of Player of the Year. Sorry, it defeats the purpose of Premier League Team of the Year if you're just going to put De Bruyne in. Because that's best 11 in the Premier League. And Premier League Team of the Season should be based on performances in that season. We're not. De Bruyne is the best attacking midfielder in the league, but he's not played for half the season. So he shouldn't be getting in there ahead of Palmer or Odegaard or, another number 10 that's done really well this season. So I didn't put De Bruyne in mine, but Carragher did. And I think that defeats the purpose of Team of the Year. It should be based around players that have done well across the season. I think he can be injured for a bit of it, but I wouldn't put Andy Robertson in. I think he's the best left back in the league, but I wouldn't put him in. I'd put Udogie in or Vardiel in. But Andy Robertson's the best left back in the Premier League, but not this season because he's missed a lot of it, hasn't he? Ray Parlour or Park Ji-sung, says Fergus. Well, I'm biased, so I'll go Park Ji-sung. Hi, Mark. Reece James has been injured, come back, been injured again, had surgery, spent 5 months out and has more games, goals and assists than Mason Mount in the Premier League and as many as Anthony, says Michael. Chelsea fans are really in the show tonight, aren't they? Very, very... I suppose they've been in a cave all season, haven't they? They've come out to the lights and they're back. I've never been this nervous during a game, and I'm an Arsenal fan, says Ard. It must be actually horrible for an Arsenal fan. It's horrible to watch it. I mean, I've seen it with United many times. It's horrible to watch a game where your team's not playing, but the result of it massively impacts your team. I mean, I remember watching that last 10 minutes. Worst I've ever watched. The last 10 minutes of that Man City QPR game. Because all Man City needed to do was win. And I didn't watch it. I didn't watch Man United play Sunderland at the same time. I didn't watch it because I knew Man City would win. And then my mate was messaging me saying, QPR are winning with 10 minutes to go. I was like, I still think they'll turn it around. And then I turned it on. And I turned it on at about 86 minutes. I thought, still 2-1. And when it hit the 90th minute, I was like, I still wasn't convinced. I thought that you could still score 2 goals. But then I started to believe. And I'd rather Man City had won 4-0 and been 3-0 up at half time, and I never would have turned it on. It was horrible. Horrible. Low paid job you love or high paid job that's just okay, says Dom. If the low paid job is enough money for you to enjoy your life at home, always do the job you love. Have you had any dreams they come true, good or bad, says Jamie? No, because that's bollocks. Sorry, I don't want to smash anyone's dreams there, but like if you have a dream and then it comes true, I suppose that can happen, can't it? Might be a girl or a boy that you want to shag and then you do. But I don't dream about stuff like that. I dream about Southgate getting sacked or beating up a polar bear, wrestling with a shark in the water. That's the sort of dream I have. And trust me, I don't. And the Southgate one I'd like to see happen, but I'm not going to try the polar bear one. My dreams tend to be a bit out there. Yep, so Arsenal fans, I feel your nerves. How are Spurs fans feeling? Like, as a Spurs fan, I would be thinking, win this game, you can get Champions League football. Mark, Madrid attack, forward plus midfield next season versus Man City. Which will be better according to you? I don't know. I think Real Madrid are going to be a very interesting team next season with those injuries. Sorry, with those players like Mbappe. Hampion says, Mark, knob for nose or nose for knob? Notice how I looked down then and was thinking if my nose was there and my knob was there. Is that not the same thing? Knob for nose or nose for knob? Surely just swap them. You wouldn't have a knob there and a knob there. Oh, you would. So your nose would be a knob and your nose would stay there, or your knob would be there and you'd have a knob for a nose. It's not much. I've spent too much time thinking about that. Way too much. What's going on? Says Paddy, who's just tuned in on TikTok. Thanks, pal. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed on YouTube. I don't know why the second half's not kicked off yet, but we're only 100 subscribers away from 153,000 on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Our next watch-along on this channel is actually going to be final day, isn't it? Because there's no other Premier League games until Sunday now. And actually, I won't be on here, will I? I think I'll be on United Stand. So this is our last Premier League watch-along on here. I think I'm going to do... Well, I'm doing the Champions League and then the Euros, yeah. But Man United Newcastle tomorrow night is on the United Stand, yeah. Man United tomorrow, yeah. Have a little patience. Right, players are out. Second half. Man City are in a huddle. Get the timer ready. Did you like Dublin, says Gert? I absolutely loved it. Pep's playing with his eyebrows. It is City versus football. As a Man United fan, I want Arsenal to win. Thanks for the follow, Teddy. Right, we're ready to go for the second half. De Bruyne is going to kick it off. Got an itchy nose myself. Do you think the original Big Six could change soon, says Cameron? Well, the Big Six at the moment has changed, as far as I'm concerned. And I suppose that's one of the positives about the Premier League. I think away from the title and away from the bottom three, we've got quite a competitive league. But I mean, what is the Big Six now? Chelsea haven't been in the Champions League for 2 years. Man United aren't even going to be in the top six, I don't think. Newcastle were in the top four last year, but probably going to finish 7th this year. So Man City are there, Arsenal are there, Liverpool are there. Are Villa and Spurs there at the moment? I think we're in a bit of a transitional phase with the Big Six. I mean, the Big Six clubs are Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea. But big save from Bukayo from De Bruyne there. That was nearly a very good start from City, who are clearly going to come out all guns blazing here. Bigger chances of falling to City at the moment. Who should United sign as striker in your opinion, says Dom? I don't really know. I mean, I like the idea of Sesko, but apparently it's 70 million. As a Spurs fan, even if we get Champions League, we won't make it out the group. If Arsenal win the league, we will never hear the end of it, says Oliver. You do realise there are no group stages now in the Champions League. I mean, I'm reading out a Spurs fan who doesn't even know the tournament that you're trying to qualify for. There is no group stage anymore. You will get out of the league system because 24 of the 36 teams in it go through to the next stage. You need to do some research, mate. You play more games, so there's more money, and you'll definitely get out. Would you rather, Roger says, would you rather fight a shark with no legs or a polar bear with no arms? You see, I think I'd beat a polar bear with arms, but without arms, that would be easy work. They've only got their feet and their mouth. It would be a good fight, a polar bear with no arms, I've got to say, because their mouth is dangerous, but the biggest issue is their claws. And If they tried to run after you, they'd knock themselves out on the floor, wouldn't they? They'd go, whew. So they'd have to stand up then they can't claw you. So really, they've only got their mouth. And as long as you weren't an idiot and got bitten, you'd be fine. Anyway, back to the football. Patino, thanks for the follow there. City are in the ascendancy here at the moment. Who's winning, Dortmund or Madrid, says Patrick. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that. Can you do a League 2 playoff final, says Tom? Well, no, because I pick stuff I'm going to watch. Nice ball into Sarr. This is the problem with Spurs. They've just got no real attackers. Oh, Son got on the front post there. He did look a bit offside. Why did the game become so soft, says Constantine? Son would have been onside there. Big chance that was. Bloody hell. The way Man City's defence defended that, I thought he was offside. He actually made a good run. Jolyon says, do you prefer penguins, meerkats or stick insects? I think I'll go with penguins there, thanks. Will the Spurs fans cheer if they score, says Andrew? I mean, it is a difficult one for them, but... Thanks for the follow, lovely. And I follow back. If the only way United can win a trophy is if you personally glaze each one of the glazers, would you do it? Example, treble equals 3 different glazing sessions, says Yash. I don't know what that is. But I don't suspect it's anything good. Morales, thank you very much. And John Klein and Logan, CPFC, thanks for the follow. Of course, the longer this goes on, the more Arsenal fans believe. Ben, thanks for your follow, mate. Eve Evans says, when you won the Conference League on FIFA, I cried. Here's Son. I think City could end the season trophyless, says Alan. I think they'll win the double. Screamy Boy says, I sent you a super chat back on the 10th of February, City versus Everton, telling you I dreamt Bromley beat Solihull at Wembley in the playoffs. Bloody hell, mate. There you go. Here's Foden. Bentancur's got to let him go because he's on a yellow. Comes to Bernardo Silva on the far-hand side. First goal in this game will be key. De Bruyne, and there it is. Erling Haaland. I literally just said it, didn't I? I think that'll be it, Arsenal. I think that's game over. I do. I'm surprised Spurs fans aren't celebrating. Very, very simple. Very, very simple goal. De Bruyne, and then it's Haaland who slips it in. Romero losing a 50-50 with Phil Foden is a joke. It's not good defensively from Spurs, but then it goes out to Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne makes the run, and then from there, it's just pure quality. Pure quality. Tap in for Haaland. Probably the easiest goal he'll score this season. The way City are playing is making me nervous for Villa's qualifying Champions League, says HPN. Well, you'll be probably celebrating that now. Sophie, thanks for the follow. Spurs will lose heart now because they need to win. A draw's no good for them, so they've got to score twice. If City have got anything about them, which they will have, you'd go for the kill now. Get the second goal, game over. But I was surprised to see Romero losing a 50-50 with Phil Foden. I mean, I'm not saying that Foden's not good in the tackle, but... Clear offside. No. So Man City go top of the league by 2 points with 1 game to go as it stands. Game is done, says Eob. Such a boring league, says Bradley. Well, I don't want to start... Well, I will do, but yeah. It is a boring league. It's very boring when you can predict next season's winner before this season's even over. Man City will win it next year, 100%. Uh, 1-0 to City at the moment. It's honestly so boring, says Robert. They're just... It's boring. But can I just be fair? However they've done it, it's boring because Man City are too good. I said it in the first half. That front four they've got, Foden, De Bruyne, Silva, and Haaland, and then you look at their bench. They're just too good. It is a farmers' league because they're just too good. Yeah, I'm not put that 115 there with the M next to it. Some people might think that that's a dig at City. We actually have got 1.15 million subscribers. So, yeah, 115 may have meaning for some. If City fans want to take it as we're taking a piss, that's a bonus, but that is for 1.15 million subscribers. But if you want to read it another way, that's fine. Who do you think will be the next Man City, says Mikey? I don't think Man City are going anywhere, mate. I can't see anything changing with City for years and years and years. Why would they change a model that works and no one can get near? But City have gone up a gear in this second half. First half, it was quite equal. Apart from the fact that City have had the best chances, to be fair. Although Son did have a decent chance just before that. Bentancur's come off. Not very happy to come off. Kicked a chair. It's like me when that bloody against Crystal Palace last week. He's gone all Goldbridge. I can't criticise him. Oh, good interception. Terrible pass though. What's wrong with De Bruyne? Nothing. Has he done that just to get a yellow card? Don't think it was a yellow card, really. But De Bruyne may well have done it. I tell you what, if De Bruyne gets up here, what's he done? I think he just trod on his foot. Yeah. Might have hurt him a little bit, that. Oh, God, he's spitting out his mouth. Someone get an ambulance. He's got spit coming out his mouth. Yeah, Romero should have cleaned Foden out on that. Bentancur acting like Seb. Yeah, good point. The Premier League becoming a farmers' league, the best league in the world. Worrying times for English football, says Mohammed. What a simple goal that was for Haaland, by the way. Do you think Leverkusen will suit the Champions League, says Dom? I've said this about Leverkusen. Fantastic side, but they might be another Napoli. Patrick says, who are you selling in the transfer window from Man United? Oh, fucking loads of people, mate. And English says, do you see the similarity between McKenna and Sir Alex? Taking Eric Ten Hag out of the equation and your bias against McKenna, honest up, mate. I think that has to go down as the worst football opinion of my life, English Saturn. You're genuinely asking me if I see the similarity between Kieran McKenna and Sir Alex Ferguson. Do you know what Sir Alex Ferguson did at Aberdeen? Like, he won a European trophy and he won the league, breaking the Rangers-Celtic axis. Kieran McKenna's got promoted with Ipswich. It's not the same. It's not the same. Bloody hell. That's a terrible take. Some Spurs fans have been doing the Poznan. De Bruyne is hobbling here, but I think he's all right. Ipswich are going to fight for Europe next season. If Ipswich come up into the Premier League and fight for Europe, then I'll start thinking he's a bit like Sir Alex at Aberdeen. But I don't want to say bet because it's disrespectful, but I would say Ipswich will be relegated. Kartik says De Bruyne out of the FA Cup. He's not. He's coming back on now. Thanks for the follow, Dio. Why does we not get to see the lines on the goal? That is so close. The viewers deserve to see how close it was after all the VAR scamming, says Stig. I don't think it looked offside to me, but Noel's solo career or Liam's solo career, says Tom. I don't really care about either, really. I'm a massive Oasis fan, but I'm not really bothered about either solo career. Here's Kulusevski. It's got to be a foul in the build-up there. And where's the advantage? Gives a corner. Nick says, do you think West Ham fans are being vilified by the mainstream media? I don't know the context, mate, so I'd have to say no. Who do you think's going to win the Championship playoffs, says Toby? I've gone with Southampton, but... corner here for Spurs. Man City had it away. Still half an hour to go in this game. Here's Kulusevski. Ooh. Edison's okay. Look at all the Man City players running there to try and get Romero sent off. Absolute jokers. Crowding the ref again. It's a 50-50 ball. I'm gonna wait on crowding the referee again because I haven't seen the replay, but it looked like a 50-50. I think it will end up with being a red because this referee has already given a yellow card for the De Bruyne one, which was accidental. So if there's any reason for him to have a look at this, I think he will. I've not seen it, So I can't qualify. I can't. I'm not going to commit without watching it again. Yellow card's been given on the pitch. A lot of people saying it should be a red. Well, they've not shown a replay on our telly, so we're sort of in the hands of the international audience here because we've not seen a replay. Still could be a red. Still could be a red. Some people are saying it's a red. Some are saying it's never a red. I've only seen it once in real time, and it looked to me like he legitimately went for the ball. But you could look. Ryan Powell says looked like a fair attempt to get the ball. Man City players did surround the referee, but they do that if someone trumps. So it's hard to say. Just because he's concussed doesn't mean it's a red card. It's about how low Edison is, and it's about how legitimate Romero's attempt to get the ball is. I also think when you're trying to score a goal, it's a bit different to lunging into a tackle on the halfway line. Like, he's trying to score a goal, you're going to go for it a little bit. It's a contact sport at the end of the day. We're not playing netball. And that's not sexist. In netball, you're not allowed to make any contact. I played it up until the age of 11. I did. I had long hair at the back. I had a mullet. He's booked somebody off the pitch. A Man City person. Why does we not get to see the lines of the goal? So Stig, we've done that one, thank you. Doesn't look offside, but no clear check for us to see. If it was United or most other teams, does that matter? It would get heavy analysis, says James. And Sandeep says, I heard a rumour that the GOAT is coming back to play Champions League football with Leverkusen and Alonso wants him. What are your thoughts? What, Ronaldo? Can't see it. Well, we've still not seen a replay of it. So I don't even know if it should have been a yellow, really. But look, the main thing, Edison's fine. I mean, it would definitely be game over if they got a player sent off and the 1-0 down. I don't know why they haven't shown it. They will show a replay of it, I'm sure, because he's fine. Jordan, thanks for your super chat. But that's the thing with City. They crowd the referee with everything, so it's always difficult to know if it's bad or not. It's a bit like the boy who cried wolf, which again is not sexist. That is the saying. The true story of the boy who cried wolf. Do you want to know what the true story is? Some people mistell the story. The boy who cried wolf was left to look after the sheep outside the village, and he got bored, so he shouted "Wolf, wolf," and the local villagers came running up with their weapons to kill the wolf, and he said, I was only joking. So the next day he did the same thing. He cried wolf, wolf, because he was boring, and they came up and he said, I was joking again. And the third time he did it, there really was a wolf, and the villagers said he's joking again, so they didn't bother. And then they went up the next day and all the sheep were gone, and so was he, because the wolf had ate the lot. Hence the story, the boy, who cried wolf. People might not believe you. If Man City player had made that challenge, there wouldn't be a VAR check, but any other team, there is a dodgy bit, says Cormac. What's your thoughts on baby reindeers? I've never had reindeer, but you can get them at Christmas. Oh, you're talking about Netflix. It's a funny one, isn't it? I'll say that. Doku's going to come on here for City. Yeah, we still haven't seen the replay. Venison's very nice. I've had deer. Liam says they won't show the replay because it's too graphic. It's 9:25. There'll be something on ITV where somebody's being murdered. Who are these dictators? Here we go. We're seeing it now. Too graphic. It's not even a yellow for me. That isn't even a yellow. He hits Romero's arse. AJ says US TV said the replay was too brutal to show. For God's sake, mate. See a lot worse on certain websites. I thought he'd been studded in the face. No, look, he genuinely hurt himself, but what I'm talking about in the context is, should Romero have been sent off? Absolutely not. Come to Florida and try alligator, says Eduardo. Well, De Bruyne's off and Edison's off, but as we know, Ortega is a very good goalkeeper, as we saw in the game at Anfield. Here's Bernardo Silva. Oh, what a ball by Foden. What's your favourite WWE moment ever, mate? Says Zia. I think I really enjoyed The Undertaker against Shawn Michaels' career against the Streak. Why is Edison crying then? You've only been subbed off. You'll be back in the next game. Or is it because he won't be able to play on Sunday because of concussion procedure? Explain that one to me. I'm a bit confused why he's so fed up. Missing the last 20 minutes against Tottenham is not... It's not the end of the world. Imagine what he's like if... he orders a Big Mac and they forget the cheese. Yeah, I think it might be because it's a concussion, so he won't get to play on Sunday. Ooh, what a save by the keeper there. Kulusevski with a chance. Arsenal fans would have been celebrating, but it was a good save. That's what I mean about Ortega. He's a good goalkeeper. Fucking hell, that could easily have gone in through his legs as well. Fine margins. He is a good... Ortega's he's a good keeper. Rank De Bruyne, Gerrard, Scholes and Lampard, says Jack. Scholes 1, Gerrard 2, De Bruyne 3, Lampard 4. Nick P said that his head collided with Romero's package. Wasn't that bad. Did you see the fireworks at the Man City Hotel, says Christopher? Nope. Oh, what, last night was it? Still 1-0 to Man City. 20 minutes left, but there'll be a little bit more than that because of the stoppages for De Bruyne and Edison. And also, if Man City score again, it's over. I think if Spurs can keep it 1-0 for another 10 minutes, which they might not, it might get a little bit tasty in the last 10 because City will have to go defensive at some point. We're in London, aren't we? Says Prajit. I think Edison's gone off with concussion. I think that's what's happened there. Oh, God. I haven't had many stretches today. Back again. Right, corner for City. They'll want that second goal. Cross comes in. Kovacic and Vicario will get that one. Yeah, it was a good chance for Everton. Sorry, Everton. Everton? Are you watching the right game, Mark? Yes, I am. What about... No, Richarlison's not on the bench. I was just trying to think what options they might have. Spurs. This is the problem I think Spurs have had for a while now, though, isn't it? The inability to make substitutions in the attacking sense. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. 31,000. I mean, it isn't the title, but it sort of is. Brennan Johnson, not going to be quick enough against the Kanji there, unfortunately. Have you ever weed in the sink, Mark? Says Tim. Not my sink. Stayed at my friend's house once, and I'd have been in my early 20s, and we'd been out where he lived. And I was staying at his house, so I was sleeping on the sofa downstairs. They only had one toilet upstairs, and I didn't really know where to go at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I went into the kitchen and pissed in their sink. Which I did sort of spray a bit of water on it afterwards, but I've got to be honest, I've never felt guilty about it. I'm not going to say what friend's house it was. There might be a few watching now going, "Oh." But it is disgusting, but I was asked the question and I don't lie. I've done a lot worse. Come to Florida and try an alligator. We've done that before. While United and Chelsea are complaining about injuries this season, Real managed another Champions League final. With so many injuries, do you think it takes a real manager to handle such a crisis? Sandeep, and there's a very big difference between being Real Madrid and having injuries and Man United and Chelsea. There's just a very different makeup of player for a start. I've done that one. There we go. Thank you very much. Was the dishes in it? No, I did it through the gap. You know, like you have like the sink and then you have the washing up bowl. I made sure it went in between the gap. Yeah, I'm not talking about drugs, Constantine. This is not a quick Q&A of the drugs I've consumed in my life, of which I deny any. Somebody just said, if you were in your 20s, surely they still had outside toilets you could use. You cheeky bastard. I'm not that old. Outside toilets. Nice ball into Son. It'd be good for the game if Man City start to sit in a little bit now. If they stop attacking, and I was an Arsenal fan, which I am tonight, I'd be a little bit more confident if City start sitting back for the 1-0. They're a hard team to break down, but you just feel that maybe there's a chance. But the thing is for Spurs, a point's not good enough, is it? They need to win. So Arsenal, even if Spurs equalised, they'd go for the win as well. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Whoop says, I hope you and the family are good. Here's Porro. He's got to whip that. Wins a corner. Hope you and the family are good. Are you going to travel this summer? Come to Sweden, take Seb and some real football with real fans. I do want to come to Sweden, yeah. Copenhagen as well, which is Denmark. It's a city I really want to go. Spurs don't. Dwayne's right. Spurs don't need a point. Spurs need a win. Kulusevski shoots over the bar. Spurs are ass, says Babyface on TikTok. I think look, I don't. We do a lot of watch-alongs on That's Football. We talk about a lot of general football on That's Football. But Spurs are probably. I'm probably guilty this season of not watching Spurs as much as I've probably seen Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, even Chelsea. But what I did notice about someone's just said in the chat. Supporting Spurs feels like incest, says Aiden. What I would say about Spurs is that at the start of the season when I watched them, they looked like they had loads of goals in them. The last few games or months, they don't look like they're going to score goals, and I don't know why that's happened. Oh God, Kulusevski, why did he not square that? Son's fuming. "8 minutes will be added on," said the commentator. Yeah, but we've still got 10 of normal time, but I think you're right. In Bulgaria, one team won 13 titles in a row. It's a joke. It's not far off that in Scotland, I don't think, pal. Oh, good block. It's getting a bit opened up here. Here's Brennan Johnson into Porro. Cameraman's pissed. We've got it back now. Why is Sarr shooting from there? What a prat. Oh my God, he's rubbish. He's going to win that though. Play on, play on, play on. I'll tell you what, if I've got a Spurs goal now, it would be an amazing finish because Man City would start attacking again. There's Johnson on the far side. Cuts it back across. Maddison, no. Man City sitting in, looking for the counter. Nice ball into Porro, but City are defending well here, as they always do. I mean, we've noticed, we've not noticed it. We've known this about City for a few years now, that Pep gets a lot of praise for the way that they attack and score goals, but as a defensive unit, they don't concede many either. Werner's injured, yeah. Please do subscribe if you're on YouTube. Thank you very much. And thanks everyone who's watching on TikTok. It's 1-1. It's not 1-1. Shit. No, it's definitely not 1-1. I'm not being responsible for that. It's 1-0 to Man City with 9 minutes of normal time. Probably got about 18 minutes left altogether because there was quite a period of stoppages where De Bruyne and Edison came off. Here's Walker. I see Dead Body says, what's in common between 0% beer and making out with your sister? Tastes the same, but something's not quite right. Oh, God. Well, you're admitting to two things that are bad there. Drinking 0% lager and making out with your sister. Annihilator says City are going to blow this. Yeah, but I think the closer it gets to 90th minute, the more Spurs will realise that they're better off losing than drawing. Like, they needed to win this game, not draw it. So I think they might start to kick into that themselves. Of course, this is the night that Villa will get Champions League football if it stays like this, or a draw. Think Spurs don't want to score on purpose? If you'd watched them the last few weeks, you'd know that's bollocks. This could be it, though. Doku, no, held on for too long. I don't think Spurs have really looked like they were going to do it tonight. Sarr's coming off. The Celso's coming on. Michael says Michael Oliver will be at home jumping for joy. Yeah, Robbo, I'm not doing a poll on what's worse, kissing your sister or mate or drinking 0% beer. I'd be very worried about the people who voted for a certain one there. I'd actually be very worried about people who voted for either of them. If this result holds, Newcastle beat United, Chelsea win out, and Newcastle beat Spurs on Sunday, Spurs fall all the way down to 7th. Total collapse, says Jose. Sheffield United are playing Spurs, though, Jose, on Sunday. Not Newcastle. Bet Harry Kane's pinching himself now, says Constantine. Oh, Son's just gone one-on-one. And missed. Arsenal fans, that is going to get played back by Spurs fans tomorrow to wind you up. Son does look disappointed. That was the moment. Brennan Johnson, Son. Ortega, you got to say again, he's made a big save. He's a bloody good goalkeeper, that Ortega. Pep in his spitting's very weird, isn't it? Son must really hate Arsenal, says Robbo. 96. Joe Allen says, you say the Premier League is boring. In Wales, TNS won 15 titles. Yeah, I got to say, I'd be absolutely... Imagine if you were an Arsenal fan, though, with that moment there. That moment would have won you the league. Potentially, if he'd scored. And that'll be the meme, won't it? That will be the meme. Son running through one-on-one. Scores that, wins Arsenal the league. Misses it. Ooh, off you go. I think that should have been a red. No, maybe not yet. Maybe not a red. Yellow. Phil Foden. Ortega or Onana, says Luke. Oh, from what I've seen of Ortega this season, he's very good. I mean, if one player symbolises Man City's juggernaut domination, it's their backup goalkeeper. Like, their backup goalkeeper is better than most goalkeepers in Europe. And people want to say it's not a boring league and that Man City aren't a dominant force. They've got, like, their bench is better than everybody's first team. He came on at Anfield and played bloody brilliant in that game as well. Biggest game of the season. Well, we're just about to hit stoppage time here, but Doku's in. He's given a penalty. Well, I don't know whether it's a penalty or not, but it's certainly not going to get overruled. Looked like a penalty to me. He gets the ball. Nah, it's not a penalty. He gets the fucking ball. Surely gets the ball. Does he get the ball? Look like he moved the ball. No, he's kept it as a penalty. I thought he got the ball. It looked stone wall, and then I thought the ball moved a little bit, but obviously it didn't. Yeah. I thought it was a penalty the first time. I thought it was a penalty the second time, but that angle, it looked like he moved the ball a little bit, but no. Penalty to Man City. Well, Arsenal, that Son moment's going to be the moment, isn't it? Yeah. He always goes that way as well. Why did the keeper go the other way? So boring. It's so boring. I hate to say I told you so, but I've been saying this from day one. Man City will win the league. It's so fucking boring. It really is. All I'd say to Arsenal is, and I said it on the podcast, you couldn't do anything else. Like, there's nothing more you could do this season. You are mere mortals, and you've had a very good season, but you're up against a complete and utter juggernaut that can lose its first team goalkeeper and bring on a goalkeeper that makes 2 world-class saves. They've got the best of everything. They've got the best manager. They've got the best bench. They've got the best first team. They've got the best fitness department. They don't even get injuries, really. They're just a juggernaut. They're just too good for this league, and the league is poorer for it. But what are the Premier League going to do? I don't know. But of course, there is a positive story that, well, I must say, on a completely different level. Well done to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have qualified for the Champions League football, which is a positive. That is a real positive. We might have a really boring league, and we might be turning into Scotland and French overnight. But Aston Villa getting in the Champions League is a positive story, and for me, I think Unai Emery has to be manager of the year now, because it won't be Arteta, of course. People saying it's not fair in the chat. Well, I don't know whether it's fair or not. We don't know whether it's fair or not. We'll have to wait and see if the Premier League do anything to do with the... they obviously think Man City have done something wrong. Whether they can prove it or not is something else. But whether it's fair or not is irrelevant at the moment. It's whether the league is interesting or not, and it isn't. This season's not even over, and I'll tell you, in a year's time we'll be watching the same thing again, and probably in 2 years' time. And that's the scary thing for me as somebody that loves football. It's really boring to be able to predict that they'll win it again tomorrow. So, but of course there's a bitterness to that. Of course there's a jealousy to that. It's Arsenal want to win the league. Man United want to win the league again. Liverpool want to win the league again. Chelsea want to win the league again. None of us are winning the league again. It's just not going to happen, is it? We're not going to get anywhere near. Vardial will be better next year. Haaland will still be here next year. Foden will be better next year. De Bruyne will still be here next year. God knows what they're going to buy in the summer. They're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And as I said, I don't really know what more Arsenal can do. You're always going to lose a few games, but Man City will lose less. And in the final run-in, how many games have they won in a row? Again, they literally every season pretty much win their last 10 games of the season. So if you're not ahead of them by 5 or 6 points, they're gonna take you down. Hi Mark, that's it. City won. Come on West Ham. It's now getting very boring, the league. I really wanted Arsenal to win, and well done Villa too, says Becky. Oh, if anyone thinks West Ham are doing anything on the final day, I wouldn't even. If I was an Arsenal fan, don't make that mistake. It's gone. If they're found guilty, is Pep even that good, says Curtis. Cello says it wouldn't be boring if it was Man United. Mate, it would be, because I've seen Man United win league titles, and I've seen us win it by 12, 15 points, and it is a bit boring. And I said it at the time. It is a bit boring when you're winning it all the time and no one's giving you any real competition. The best answer I can give to that is the most enjoyable period of the Premier League for me was the late 90s when Arsenal pushed us all the way every time. It's my favourite memory of football was the late 90s when Man United were being pushed by Arsenal. It means more when it's close. We've got a Farmers League, whether Man City fans want to accept it or not. 6 in 7, 4 in a row, and you want to make out that this is good for football. That's going to be like Dembele moments in the World Cup, says Shahin. What do you think is the limit for pundit time frame for effective analysis, aka playing in the current game? Can early 2000s judge today's players, says Mr. Mojo. I don't know what that means, mate. Robbo says, should we just go home? I feel it's disrespectful to stop the stream early when we're effectively watching the title. People win the title. I know I can be petulant when it comes to City, but I'm not going to be disrespectful. I mean, I've always been taught when you lose a final and that you do shake people's hands at the end, whether you agree with it or not. So I'm not going to end the stream early like I have done in the past. This is when we've watched so many games in the Premier League this season. We're about to see the team that's going to win the Premier League effectively, because I'm not going to be watching it on Sunday. If United wins the FA Cup, who has had the better season, Ten Hag or Arteta, says Rajiv? No, I mean, look, we won a trophy last year. Arsenal didn't. If we win a trophy this year, which we probably won't, Arsenal haven't. It's a very good one, but if United win the FA Cup, which we won't, 2 trophies in 2 seasons, and Arsenal haven't won anything, I'm sure Arsenal fans would like to win a trophy, but Arsenal are better than Man United. Why they haven't won any trophies, I don't know, but Arsenal are better than Man United over the last 2 years. They've tried to win a title twice, but I mean, I think that just comes down to squad issues, that Arsenal can't do everything, can they? Not with that squad. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Bramers on Twitter says, TikTok says, I love the podcast and I listen every morning. Thanks everyone who listens to Goldbridge Saves Football, by the way. Really appreciate that. It was a tall order for Spurs to do it tonight. I don't know. I mean, Ortega's been given man of the match for that save, probably. But I don't think Spurs were actually good enough to beat Man City anyway. But whether they were actually focused on beating Man City, their fan base certainly wasn't, was it? And all I'd say to those Spurs fans that are happy is you'll never topple Arsenal if your main focus is Arsenal not winning things. Like, you're never going to be better than Arsenal if you're more bothered about stopping Arsenal. Like, you could have got Champions League football, and that would have been massive for your football club. Aston Villa have got Champions League football now, and that's absolutely massive for them. I think Spurs with Champions League football would have progressed closer to Arsenal than they will now. I might get that wrong. I might be wrong about that, but I don't understand the obsession with your rival when there's a pathway to success for yourself. But we've heard it all day. I don't know what the majority of Spurs fans think, but we've heard it all day. Do you feel sorry for Arsenal, Mark? I don't feel surprised. Man City were always going to win the league for me. I said Man City would have it won by Christmas, but I don't know. I do feel a bit sorry for Arsenal in the sense is I don't think they could have done anything else. I really don't know what more they could have done this year. Some people are saying Porro got the ball. Well, we didn't see the replay on the offside, and I think we got enough angles of the Porro thing. Final whistle's gone. There is an angle where it looks like Porro got the ball, but a lot of you are saying it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. Game's over anyway. Man City win, 2 points top of the league. First time they've been top of the league outright, obviously because of that game in hand for a long time. 2 points, top of the league. Last game, West Ham at home. It's over. It's sad. It's really sad for football in general. It's not sad if you're a Man City fan. Well done. I'd love to say enjoy it while it lasts, but it might last for a very long time. We'll have to wait and see if the Premier League has got any substance behind their charges. They've charged them. They obviously think they've done something. Can they prove it? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, our beautiful game, is being dominated by Pep and Manchester City. And I think it will continue to be dominated by Pep and Man City for a very, very long time. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone on TikTok as well. Absolute legends. And I will speak to you later. Take care.